RedDevil This is my Eachine RedDevil conversion. I use the Primo 080X frame, and I think the build turned out quite nice. There was some challenges. For example, this RedDevil flight controller and an ESC board has, instead of having the VTX and camera soldered onto the board, it actually has the connector, which is nice. You know, it's easy to disconnect it and change things out, but it does interfere with fitting this all together in this conversion build. So what I actually had to do is, you can kind of see it here, hopefully, I had to cut out some of the TPU right where the connectors are. Otherwise it stood up way too high. So what I did, I used the existing rubber grommets from the RedDevil and grommet there on the front and the back, and as you can see here on the back too. Then what I did was I took a 12mm M2, get it into focus here, a 12mm M2 screw, and put a nut on the bottom right here. Maybe it's easier to see it if I can get it in focus here on the back, but there's actually a nut at the bottom to stabilize it as a post, the 12mm bolt here. And then I put the, right here, I used the RedDevil rubber grommet on top of that with the slot at the top. And then I used an M2, let's see if I can get into focus here, an M2 nut at the top to hold everything together. So again, you know, at the bottom there's a nut with the rubber grommet on top of that with the slot at the top, and then at the top of that another nut at the top. Then what I did to put the canopy on, which was quite a challenge to get this all fitted in, I had to, you know, make sure that the VTX, I used double-sided sticky tape, as you can see here, to hold the VTX. Had to move it more towards the back to give it room for the camera angle here in adjustment. So again, it'll fit in there, it's just real tight. And so again, I used the double-sided sticky tape to kind of hold it into place. And then what I did to even eliminate more jello with this thing, I used some Beta FPV rubber grommets on the front here, and that is an 8mm screw here to hold that in place, and it provides more isolation from vibrations from the motors. And then also on the rear, I went ahead with a this is a 10mm bolt here, and I used, there was an extra grommet again from the RedDevil. So again, you know, two 12mm to hold the flight board in place, the flight controller board in place, and then 8mm to hold the canopy on the back, or excuse me, a 10mm here on the back, and an 8mm on the front. So 8, 10, 12, 12. And I think it turned out quite well. It flies way better than the RedDevil. I was having a lot of issues. I have just a very minimal amount of jello. So adding these extra isolation grommets here on the canopy here, I think helped. And then going to the HQ props, these are the HQ 65mm props here, really helped out. And then lastly, I actually used an extra set of Sailfly X motors that I had. They're slightly lower kV, but like I was saying in my RedDevil review, the Eachine is like 8700. It wouldn't seem like it'd make that much difference, but these motors fly much better. And if you have even lower kV motors, I would recommend those. Although, you know, on 2S, I think these are great. They're fine. You know, you might look at 1103 type motors, but with these props in 2S, which is the sweet spot, man, this thing flies forever. And I'll show you a video you know, how well it flies. So with that, you know, I think I would highly recommend, if you're not liking how the RedDevil flies, you know, I would definitely look at the Primo 080X, and I'll link the I think Healy Nation, you know, I bought mine from Healy Nation, but there's other sources, and I'll link that below. And then the HQ props, I think are those from Race Day Quads. And so I'll go ahead and link the parts below, and I'll show you a short video. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.